Hi, and welcome to this workshop on winter wellness. My name is Emma, and I am a life coach, a Reiki healer, and a yoga teacher. And my purpose is to help others to find their confidence so that you can show up as a leader in your personal and your professional life. And I created this workshop because it's winter and I'm having a hard time with some of the darkness and things like that. And I know a lot of my clients are too. And so when I see patterns occurring, I always look for ways that I can offer support. And so here is this workshop. So firstly, please know that you are not alone. There's so many people that are struggling with winter. And actually, I've got a statistic here. I found that as many as 35% of Canadians experience the winter blues. Now, depending on where you're viewing from, maybe you're not in Canada, it gets pretty cold and dark here, so it's no surprise that we do experience that. But wherever you are in the world, you may experience a slump in your energy or maybe just a change in your mood during the winter. And it is entirely normal. What I encourage you to do is just take a moment and reflect on that. If you look around outside in nature, and you'll see that all the animals and plants are kind of in their quiet period. It's a quiet, reflective period, perhaps even hibernating. Now, that's not an option for us, but certainly putting less pressure on yourself to be go, go, go can really help. So you're not trying to force yourself to be out of what is a normal human cycle. We, after the Industrial Revolution and electricity and all that, we started working on 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule is. And human evolution wasn't designed for that. So we've forced ourselves into this system, and it is a struggle. However, the fact is you probably are in that system and you do have to get up and go to work. But I have some tips here to help you to just find it a little bit easier. And the number one tip is really to not fight yourself. So stop beating yourself up, stop getting frustrated with yourself if you are feeling low, having less energy, because you know this already. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You're only making it worse, but you know that that's true as well. And so some ideas for how you can just settle into that more quiet, more sedentary routine. Read a book, curl up on the couch, maybe in front of the fire, and enjoy reading a book. You could play board games, maybe do some baking. I made shortbread on the weekend, which is a terrible thing to do because then, of course, I ate it all. You could also, maybe you take one of your days off and prep a whole bunch of meals ahead and pop them in the fridge or the freezer so that then during the week you don't have to come home and cook. You can just put that in the oven and reheat it. Another lovely thing to do, perhaps on a cold, dark evening, could be to phone a friend or a loved one. Have a good old chat. I know my friends and I were always texting. We do sometimes send voice notes as well. But when you actually get to have a good old chinwag and conversation back and forth, that can be really fun. Also, what about writing a letter? Actually getting a pen and paper out, not typing, not sending an email, but writing a letter. You could maybe write to someone telling them about everything that you've been up to this year. Maybe you could find a pen pal. Writing, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my list that I made because my brain is not able to remember all of my brilliant ideas. What about writing a gratitude journal? especially, this, I'm recording this in the weeks running up to Christmas, so running up to the end of the year. And it's a really great time to kind of reflect on all the things that you've done in the year. So maybe you could sit down and write everything that you're grateful for. And that really is a beautiful practice for warming your heart. Other ideas, watch a movie, maybe binge watch a TV show. Everyone is talking about White Lotus at the moment. I don't have Crave, but I think I'm going to have to pay for the subscription because everyone is talking about it. Um, don't tell the hotel that Johnny's on the bed. You could also maybe like give yourself a manicure or a pedicure. Take a long bath. If you watched any of my videos, if you know me, baths always come up. It's probably my favorite self-care practice. And I, in fact, did that last night. I watched Netflix in the bath. I'm currently watching Inventing Anna. I'm on the last episode. Oh, this is a fun one. Like as a family or a group of friends, what about telling stories? I remember when I was younger, like telling ghost stories was a big thing. But maybe that's not for you. But what about just telling stories? Or you could read a story out loud. Something I'm going to be doing in a few days with my mum, driving around the neighborhood, admiring people's Christmas decorations. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, you can still enjoy looking at the effort that people have put in, the creativity and the bright lights. Maybe grab like a hot chocolate as well and sip on that while you're driving around, listening to Christmas carols. Um, Make going to bed early or getting up late a treat. So instead of giving yourself a hard time for falling asleep early or not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, what if that was a special treat and you were allowed to do it? You could make a vision board. I'm hosting a vision board workshop tomorrow. And so that's when you kind of essentially make a collage of all the things that you want for next year. So tearing up magazines and newspapers or just your own pictures, whatever, and sticking them on a board so that you can look at that and think about all the things that you want for the next year. And then a really fun idea that I found when I was Googling ideas. What about having a picnic? You do it indoors. So maybe it means you need to move some furniture aside, but put down a picnic rug and have a spread, sit on the floor and have a picnic for your supper. I think that'd be really fun. That could actually be a really cute date night too. So there are some ideas of things that you can do instead of trying to force yourself to go out and be hectic and busy. I used to live in the Arctic, and so I was reflecting on what did we do there for because it was very, very long winter. We had a lot of dinner parties, and then also my beautiful friends Linda and Craig. Craig's no longer with us, but hi, Linda. They had a game console, and we would have these bowling tournaments. So that was always really fun. Got you a bit moving a little bit competitive, and got to eat and hang out and visit. You could join a league. Like curling was huge in the Arctic. Where I live now in Sun Peaks, there's an axe throwing place, and so there's an axe throwing league. Who knows what kind of leagues there are out there? Maybe like if your community has a swimming pool, you could go there and do a few laps, and then get in the jacuzzi if they have one. Doing getting moving and socializing are really important because they do help boost those endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones. Maybe join a fitness class, and that could be perhaps something like yoga, or maybe you try kickboxing, who knows. And if there isn't something in your community that you can do, there are tons of things online, and where I recognize that online isn't necessarily everyone's favorite thing, it's better than nothing, and it is a way of connecting and connecting with people. You could also have a little dance party, put on some favorite tunes and dance around the house, maybe singing along. What about going snowshoeing? I haven't been snowshoeing, so I'm going to try that this year, I think. Maybe next year. One day I'm going to go snowshoeing. You could also like open up the blinds, let as much natural light into your home as possible. That really makes a difference. And anytime that the sun's shining, get out there, get out in the sun. If you can, like go for a little walk, even just 5 minutes walking around, just standing there, feeling that sun on your face can feel really good. And if going outside isn't an option, maybe just sit in the window and like literally bake in that sun, because the sun is really important for helping us as well with like vitamin D and all that stuff. And then maybe like you could buy like a colorful throw cushion, or you see like a really fun print when you're at Winners doing your Christmas shopping. Like brighten up your space with something, or about buying yourself a big bright bunch of flowers. So bring some color into your space, let some light in, get moving, and spend time with friends are definitely things. So we're going to get into the work here. I've given you a whole bunch of ideas, but what I always want with my workshops is for you to actually come out of it with something tangible. So that you don't just go, oh yeah, that was really good, and then go on to your next thing and forget. So take out pen and paper, or if you haven't already, you can download the worksheet that accompanies this video, and you can make your notes on there. And so just have a think, like, what is it that you're struggling with at the moment? I know for me, it was definitely wanting to go to bed like at 4 o'clock because it's dark. And so trying to have some energy and be productive in the evening. And I do tend, like I experience anxiety and depression, and I do notice that my depression can kind of creep in a bit more in the winter. So that's definitely been a thing for me as well. So take a moment and write down, what are the things that you're struggling with? And I'll sip some tea. As always, you can come back to this, but just wrap up what you're writing on your particular item right now. Then thinking about, I mean, I gave us some ideas there, but what activities do you enjoy doing? What things do you like doing? And yes, maybe winter ones, but maybe summer ones too, because I also want you to think about why. What is it about those things that you like? So maybe you enjoy baking. What is it about baking that you like? Eating the things. And so yeah, what activities do you enjoy doing, and why do you enjoy them? All right, the next part is then shifting into what's stopping you from doing those things. So, perhaps maybe you like walking, and what's stopping you right now is that it's really icy outside and you are worried about falling. Um, yeah, so have a think about what are those barriers? What's getting in your way of being able to do these things that you love? Now, put your problem solving hat on, not your woe is me hat, but your I am strong and powerful and I can find solutions. And think about what steps you can take to overcome those problems, those hurdles. So, thinking about, it's icy and I don't want to slip, a couple of different options. You can get those like tracks that go under your shoes that can help. You can use walking poles. There's also, I know in Kamloops, there's actually an indoor walking track that you can go to. So maybe, in your community, there's somewhere that you can walk indoors, for example. And yeah, like whatever it is, instead of we default as humans to the, oh, but yeah, it's like too hard. This is your opportunity to be creative and to take ownership and come up with solutions of how can you overcome whatever's going on. So for me, with it being really dark and me wanting to go to bed as soon as it got dark, I changed the light bulbs in my living room because I had very soft lighting, and so I put brighter lighting in and make sure I turn on the lights before it gets dark so that then it's still light when it gets dark. Little tricks for myself, but okay, I'm going to stop talking and let you apply yourself. All right, so hopefully you've got some ideas written down there of how you can work through whatever's holding you back from doing the things that you enjoy. Now, what I want you to do is pick an activity, one of those things that you'll enjoy doing and that you haven't been doing because of whatever excuse you've let get in your way. Pick one now, and I want you to commit to doing it. So pick a time, tell yourself when you're going to do it. Maybe it's going to be on the weekend, maybe one evening this week. But make this non-negotiable for yourself. Plan to do it. Don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of it. You know that when you do it, you enjoy it because you've written down why you like doing it. You've overcome the things that make it difficult to do right now. So commit to it. Pick that time. And I'd like you to do this for yourself at least once a week, if not once a day. And because the things could be small things, like, maybe it's not sustainable, but I've been really enjoying having hot chocolate with whipped cream on it as a treat. So I'm like, let's embrace the cold. Probably need to up my amount of going to the gym to counteract that. But what if you're allowed to do that? Like after you finished your work at the end of the day at 5 o'clock, you're allowed to snuggle down with a hot chocolate. What if you're allowed to read a chapter of your book before bed every evening? What if on Friday mornings, or depending on what your day off is, you don't set your alarm? That doesn't work so great for me because I have like that alarm. But, it's still quite nice to be woken up by him wanting cuddles rather than my phone. So create rewards, treat yourself, like love yourself, care for yourself. Winter can be tough. So do all these things to nurture and mother and care for yourself, because the one person who is always there and always available to make you feel better is you. And you have a choice of how you talk to yourself and how you interact with yourself. And I'm here to tell you that you deserve to talk to yourself lovingly every single time. So figure out the things that make you feel better. Remind yourself why you do them, why you love them, and then figure out ways to overcome whatever's getting between you and doing them. Because you deserve to enjoy yourself and to be happy. And it really will help with getting through those winter blues. And, if you are still struggling, reach out and talk to someone. Maybe reach out to a friend or perhaps reach out to a healthcare professional. Let your doctor know that you're having a hard time. Struggling through the winter is real. It is. I hope that you have enjoyed this workshop and found it helpful. I would love to know what things you are doing. Like, I always love people sharing their ideas. So if you have an idea and you want to share, like, what are the activities that you love doing and what are your tips for overcoming the barriers to do them, please drop it in the comments so that we can all learn from each other and get out there and be happier and healthier this winter. And if you want to get in touch, drop me an email, emma@lifeuntethered.com. I have space for 2, maybe 3 one-on-one life coaching clients right now. So if you're interested in working with me in my one-on-one coaching container, where I teach you how to show up confidently as the leader in your personal and professional life, send me an email, emma@lifeuntethered.com. Have a wonderful rest of your day.